Formed in 1965, Sovereign Chemicals Limited has long been acknowledged as the respected name in the field of manufacturing and supplying products for the construction industry. Throughout this industry, the problem of lateral damp penetration and running water has always been a major concern, particularly in below-ground situations when developing new or converting existing cellars and basements. Sovereign, the country's leading damp-proofing and waterproofing company, has been fundamental in acquiring the ultimate answer, the Sovereign Heidi K11 tanking system, which will provide Type A protection to below-ground structures as defined in BS 8102. The K11 system, used extensively worldwide, is unique, a permanent and easy-to-use solution to the problem of dampness and running water in below-ground and many above-ground situations. This is a site with which you are undoubtedly familiar. A basement made virtually unusable through lateral penetrating dampness, and the defects are plainly visible. By using the Sovereign Heidi K11 tanking system, a cellar basement exhibiting these symptoms can be transformed into useful and valuable additional space, whether your choice is for storage, office space, cinema room, extra bedroom, or children's play area, for example. A basement, by its nature being below ground and earth-retaining, will be subject to the effects of hydrostatic pressure at some time in its life. As such, the substructural walls and floor must be able to withstand any forces exerted upon it, if and when groundwater comes to bear. Wherever possible, hydrostatic pressure should be reduced by the installation of correctly positioned maintainable land drains. Accordingly, any basement to be waterproofed must be inspected to establish its suitability to accept a tanking system. Consideration should then be given as to whether the tanking system will be applied to the positive external side or the negative internal side of the structure. Practicably, positive external tanking is ideal in new development situations, where the system can extend across the external wall footprint prior to wall construction to ensure continuity will be achieved. The K11 system is suitable for application onto a variety of backgrounds, such as concrete, brickwork, or blockwork, for example. On new build structures, the tanking system can be applied direct onto a flat, even and pre-wetted background, although for the majority of contracts, the system is generally applied onto a new Sovereign SBR modified render coat. In any event, thorough preparation of all surfaces to be tanked is critical for successful application of the K11 system. For below-ground areas within existing structures, tanking is generally applied to the interior of the structure. Should a defect occur, it can quickly be located and simply repaired, making it often a preferred option in both new and existing basements. Floors, whether new or existing, must be structurally sound and stable, and able to resist any forces exerted upon it. We recommend that any floor to be tanked should be assessed for its suitability. Any existing render, plaster, paint, lime wash or other coatings must be totally removed and the surfaces mechanically prepared back to a thorough, clean, sound substrate. This may necessitate using a scabbler, needle gun, grit or sandblasting, or even chemical cleansing. Protruding plastic membranes should be trimmed and burnt back at this stage. Once cleaned, any defective pointing should be raked out to a minimum depth of 12 mm. This is especially important where lime or black ash type mortar exists. Any water ingress that is encountered must be prevented before continuing. This could be controlled by diverting water away from the building, or, alternatively, the use of Powder X can provide a total permanent solution. Powder X can be either used as a dry powder that is rubbed into the area of ingress, or can be mixed with water to form a paste that is used as a plug. In this demonstration, you can see the speed and ease of using Powder X to hold the flow of running water. Scoop the mix out of the bucket and press very firmly into place, holding until set. This takes less than 1 minute. Where salting is evident, or groundwater has penetrated, an initial treatment of antisulfate diluted 50-50 with water must be applied. Antisulfate reacts with soluble salts in the substrate and renders them insoluble, preventing their movement within the wall for a time after treatment. New builds being without salt contamination should not require antisulfate treatment. When the decision is made to apply a modified render prior to K11 application, then firstly prepare an SBR bonding coat. This will dramatically improve the adhesion of the subsequent render coat, which must be applied while the bonding coat is still green or tacky. The render coat should consist of clean-washed sharp sand, gauged with Sovereign SBR bonding agent and water, mixed to the correct ratios. Alternatively, where there is doubt about the quality of sand available, then use Sovereign Ready Render, a bagged pre-mixed cement and limestone aggregate that will form an ideal backing render for tanking purposes. The new tight render coat should be applied approximately 8 to 10 mm in thickness and finished flat, smooth and with an open surface. It should be left for a minimum of 24 hours before tanking. Before commencing K11 application, apply a coat of neat antisulfate and allow to soak in. Once all surfaces are fully prepared, they should be wetted with a priming coat of Sovereign SBR bonding agent diluted with water. In below-ground situations, a 2-coat application of the K11 system is required. K11 slurry is prepared by adding K11 powder to a gauging consisting of 2 parts Sovereign SBR bonding agent to 1 part water. Reduced coverage and mixing ratios can be utilized in above-ground situations. Add the K11 powder to the gauging solution and mix thoroughly using a slow-speed electric paddle. The correct consistency is achieved when a block brush will stand on the mix. Do not mix any more than can be used in about 20 minutes. K11 is applied using a block brush, the final strokes of the first grey coat being applied horizontally. Once set up, a fillet of barrier mortar must be applied to all vertical and horizontal junctions to alleviate stress at corner angles. The second coat of K11 should then be applied as soon as it is possible to do so without dragging the initial coat, the fillet being coated last. This time, apply using vertical brush strokes, the peaks and troughs being filled off, ensuring a consistent coverage. If the first coat has dried, then leave for a minimum of 24 hours and damp the surface down before continuing. Upon completion of the walls, a single coat of K11 grey can be applied across the floor to complete the watertight integrity of the system. It is critical to the K11 tanking process that the correct coverage and loading, as specified, is consistently achieved. Service pipes throughout the tanking can be sealed using a collar of Sovereign Pro Stick 2000. For mechanical fixings made through the tanking system, Sovereign High-D Rapid Mortar should be used. Once applied, in accordance with Sovereign specifications, the K11 system provides a continuous waterproofing barrier throughout the treated area, which should last the lifetime of the building, as stipulated on the Agrément Board certificate. BS 8102 accentuates the need for adequate ventilation to remove or reduce the risk of condensation. Renderlite Renovating Plaster, a bagged, pre-mixed cement-based lightweight plaster which has excellent thermal qualities, can be applied to assist in this matter. Additionally, the Sovereign Concure wall-mounted unit, a positive input ventilation system, can be fitted in basements to successfully assist in controlling this risk. The unit is an energy-efficient method of displacing stale, contaminated air and replacing it with fresh, filtered air. Fresh air is drawn from outside through a filter in the unit, which is also fitted with an integral comfort heater, which prevents the air falling below 10 degrees Celsius and delivered into the internal space. This displaces vapor-laden air, which lowers humidity levels and in turn helps control condensation. The Sovereign High-D K11 tanking system has the unique characteristic that the material becomes an integral part of the substrate being treated, having a final coating thickness of less than 5 mm. Its advanced formulation ensures a greater effectiveness than other surface coatings, such as liquid applied and self-adhesive membranes, or mastic asphalt, for example. which all require loading coats and supporting walls, resulting in a large reduction of available space. Although primarily used in basement waterproofing, the K11 system is effective in many other applications, including protecting against effects of penetrating and rising damp where installing a conventional damp-proof course is not feasible, for waterproofing ponds and swimming pools, and in flood remediation, its use can minimize the emotional and financial impact of those affected by significantly reducing timescales for reinstatement and reoccupation of properties. Sovereign Chemicals Limited are proud of their proven tanking system, and together with their high standard of technical support can offer advice and produce individual specifications for any project, big or small. With over 1,200 annual requests for specifications, this service has shown to be invaluable for architects, specifiers, contractors and clients alike. Let Sovereign and the K11 system take the pressure and be the answer to your Type A waterproofing requirement.